Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Welcome, everyone. Let me just start by asking you a question. What if every single tap, every casual swipe, and every step you take with your phone in your pocket isn't just a record of your past, but the exact blueprint predicting your future?
It's a really profound thought. We tend to think of our devices as tools that we actively command. You know, you push a button, the machine does a thing.
Right.
But the reality of where software is heading is far more complex and entirely proactive.
And that is the exact shift we're exploring in today's deep dive. We're pulling from some really fascinating source material today.
Yeah, the report from the AI World Journal.
Exactly. It's written by Sydney Armani, dated March 9, 2026. And it's titled The Future of AI and Mobile App Data, From Living Maps to Learning Cars.
It's a great piece.
It really is. And our mission today is to look at how artificial intelligence is taking your digital data exhaust and using it to transform those static, boring apps into highly dynamic companions. Ultimately, we're going to figure out what this actually means for your daily life.
Because the implications are massive. I mean, we are looking at a complete paradigm shift here.
Yeah.
We're moving away from applications that just sit there waiting for our input towards systems that anticipate what we need before we even realize we need it.
Okay, let's unpack this. The smartphone in your pocket isn't just a communication tool anymore.
Definitely not.
It's not just for firing off a text or checking your email. It has become a formidable 24/7 data-gathering supercomputer.
It really has.
And the sheer volume of data we produce just by walking around is staggering. The concept they use in the article here is data exhaust.
It's a perfect term, really. Think about the exhaust from a car. It's just a byproduct of the engine running. As you go about your day, your digital engine is running, and that exhaust creates a persistent, multidimensional portrait of you in real time.
Right.
The desktop web era never had this level of intimacy. When you sit at a computer, you're in one fixed location.
You're just sitting at a desk.
Exactly. But your phone, it is with you in the kitchen, in your car, on your commute, even on your nightstand while you sleep.
Exactly. It's essentially a shadow that never leaves you. To really grasp this, we have to break down what this exhaust is actually made of.
Right.
There are 5 core streams feeding into these AI models.
And if we want to understand how these predictive models are evolving, we really have to look at why these specific streams are so valuable.
Okay, so let's go through them.
First, we have behavioral and transactional data. So behavioral covers your clicks, your session times, how quickly you scroll down a screen.
The specific path you take to navigate a menu.
Yes, it reveals your intent, and transactional data builds on that. What you buy in-app, your subscription renewals, the services you book.
It signals what you actually value enough to spend real money on.
Precisely. So that gives the AI the what and the how much.
But the next stream is where I start to feel like my phone knows me a little too well.
You're talking about contextual data?
Yes.
This is where I find things incredibly fascinating. Because we all know about GPS and Wi-Fi networks. Sure, the phone knows your location.
We're all used to that by now.
Right, but your phone has a whole suite of physical sensors that we completely ignore. The accelerometer, the gyroscope, the ambient light sensors.
Which most people don't even know exist.
Exactly. GPS tells the phone you're at a coffee shop. But the accelerometer and gyroscope tell the phone if you are sitting down, pacing nervously, or holding the device at a weird angle because you're slouching in a chair.
Wait, so it's not just where is this person, it's what is their physical posture right now?
Exactly. It provides the critical where, when, and how of your actions.
That's wild.
Are you walking briskly? Are you sitting in a pitch black room? All of that context changes how an AI should interact with you.
Right.
And then you layer in the environmental and biometric data. This is where the hardware capabilities get slightly mind-bending.
Like the built-in barometer. This part of the article blew my mind. Your phone can detect minute barometric pressure changes to help crowdsource micro-weather forecasts.
Yes.
Hold on. My phone knows if it's about to rain before I do, because it can literally feel the air pressure change.
It can. And if you give it permission, it can use the microphone to identify the ambient noise around you.
So it's listening.
Well, recognizing the specific song playing in the background or identifying that you're in a loud transit hub, versus a quiet library.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And I suppose when you sync all of that with a smartwatch or a fitness ring, you're pouring even more fuel on the fire.
Oh, absolutely. You are adding heart rate, step counts, sleep patterns, and blood oxygen levels right into the mix.
So the AI now has a real-time window into your physical wellness.
Exactly.
So to you listening right now, consider this. AI models are currently thriving on your personal data. They're digesting all these streams,
Where you walk,
how hard you tap the screen,
the air pressure around you.
your resting heart rate. They're using all of it to recognize complex patterns about who you are.
And they do this for one very specific reason,
Which is,
to anticipate what you are going to do next. Which brings us to how this predictive power alters how we move through the physical world.
all right, let's talk about navigation. Because apps like Google Maps and Waze are no longer just static digital maps.
Not at all.
They are living, breathing representations of the world.
Because they rely on collective intelligence, these platforms ingest real-time anonymized data from millions of users simultaneously to understand the actual flow of reality.
They aren't just showing you current traffic.
No, they're predicting a traffic jam before it forms.
I always wondered how they do that. I mean, how does an app know a highway is going to back up in 20 minutes if everyone is currently doing 60 miles an hour?
Because they see the subtle precursors, they analyze the collective slowdown of cars a few miles ahead, or they recognize a historical pattern.
Like what kind of pattern?
Like how a crowd always disperses in a specific, chaotic way after a major sporting event ends at a nearby stadium.
Ah, okay.
The AI recognizes the pattern and reroutes you before a single brake light has even flashed in your vicinity.
That's incredible.
And they are optimizing for much more than just the fastest arrival time now. They suggest fuel-efficient routes to save gas.
Right, and if you're driving an electric vehicle or riding a bicycle, the AI will actively calculate the topography to find a route with fewer steep hills.
Exactly, to preserve your battery or your leg muscles.
Or they find the unfindable parking spot. That was another detail that amazed me. The AI analyzing the movement patterns of phones entering and leaving concrete parking garages to predict exactly which spots are opening up in real time.
It's a feature that would be mathematically impossible without massive collective mobile data.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The phone and the car are essentially merging into a single, highly intelligent system.
Yes.
The deep dive looks at the Tesla ecosystem to illustrate this.
Yeah.
Because a Tesla isn't just a vehicle anymore.
No, it's a mobile data center on wheels.
And your phone app is the command center.
The synergy between the phone and the car creates a massive feedback loop, and it is entirely driven by something called fleet learning. This is a crucial concept.
Okay, let's break that down.
Think about human drivers. We all learn from our own individual mistakes.
Right.
But AI learns from everyone's mistakes simultaneously. Every vehicle in that fleet is constantly gathering visual and sensor data.
So if I'm driving
Yeah.
and the autopilot system gets confused by something, what happens?
Let's say you encounter a really bizarre construction zone. Maybe there's a temporary stop sign held by a worker leaning against a truck in a weird way.
Okay.
The AI isn't sure what to do, so you have to take the steering wheel. The moment you take over, the car records that specific interaction.
It logs it.
It flags it as an edge case, a rare, confusing scenario. It uploads that data package back to the central AI. The engineers use that specific scenario to train a better, smarter model, and then that updated intelligence is pushed out to every single car in the fleet overnight.
So my car actually gets smarter on a Tuesday because someone across the country drove through a confusing intersection on a Monday.
Precisely. And the app acts as the predictive manager for all of this.
Right.
It doesn't just look at a battery percentage and guess how far you can drive. The AI analyzes your personal driving habits.
Like if you have a heavy foot on the accelerator.
Yeah. It looks at your recent trips, and it calculates the exact elevation changes of your planned route to predict your range with startling accuracy.
Furthermore, if you tell the app you are navigating to a supercharger station, the car will automatically start preconditioning the battery.
Warming or cooling it?
Right, so it is at the absolute optimal temperature to accept a fast charge the second you plug it in.
It's acting on your behalf before you even pull into the parking lot.
And then there's proactive assistance, like the Smart Summon feature.
Yes.
Using all that real-time sensor data, the camera feeds, and the path-finding AI, the car can navigate a complex, busy parking lot to come pick you up at the curb, entirely without a human in the driver's seat.
It is a brilliant masterclass in using AI to solve friction in the physical world. But this predictive capability isn't just reserved for heavy machinery. It is fundamentally changing the fabric of the software we use every day on our phones, pushing us toward hyper-personalization.
Yes, the empathetic app.
Huh.
We are finally moving away from the static, one-size-fits-all user interface.
Thank goodness.
The concept here is dynamic UX, where an application actually restructures its own layout based on your current context.
It adapts to your life. A great example from the source is a modern news app. Let's say it's 8:00 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Okay.
The app knows you are likely commuting or rushing to work, so it dynamically places quick breaking news headlines right at the top of your screen.
Just quick hits.
Exactly. But when you open that exact same app at 8:00 p.m. on a Sunday, it completely shifts its interface to prioritize long-form feature articles and deep-dive documentaries.
Because it has learned that this is when you actually have the time and attention span to consume them.
Right.
Or a travel app that aggressively pushes a book flight button on a weekday morning, but transforms into a hotel and restaurant discovery feed when you open it on a Saturday afternoon.
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
It's learning your behavioral cadence. It's so smart.
And this extends far beyond just rearranging buttons on a screen. We are entering the era of predictive communication, powered by large language models, or LLMs, that run directly on your device.
Right. This isn't just advanced spell check.
No. These models learn your specific vocabulary and tone of voice. They can suggest entire paragraph-long replies to messages that sound exactly like you wrote them.
They can summarize massive chaotic email chains in seconds.
Or draft a formal, professional memo from just a few mumbled bullet points you dictate while walking to your car.
Okay, but the part of this section that actually gave me pause was effective computing.
Yeah.
Because this is where the app tries to figure out how you are feeling.
Yes, this is the attempt to infer the user's emotional state through physical inputs.
Right. So the idea is that future apps could analyze your typing speed, how much physical pressure you are applying to the glass screen, or even the subtle tremors in your vocal tone to guess your mood.
It's fascinating. Imagine you're driving home. The location and speed data. Tell the phone you are stuck in terrible gridlock traffic. And the phone notices you are gripping the device tightly and typing aggressively.
Yeah.
It might automatically dim the screen slightly and suggest a calming acoustic playlist.
It is attempting to be empathetic, adjusting its tone and its recommendations based on your inferred state of mind.
Okay, but isn't there a massive margin for error there?
Definitely.
What if I'm typing aggressively because I just have a bulky Band-Aid on my thumb or my hands are freezing cold?
Right.
If the AI misinterprets that as anger, it could get really annoying really fast.
That is a very valid point. Context is incredibly difficult for a machine to parse perfectly. It might offer you Zen meditation music when you're actually just trying to type with frozen fingers.
Exactly.
But this friction highlights the bigger issue here, which is trust.
Absolutely. Because all of this, your location, your heart rate, the cadence of your typing, your inferred mood, that is intensely uncomfortably personal data.
It really is.
It requires a monumental level of trust from the user.
This raises an important question. How do we build the technical and legal architecture of trust required for this future to exist?
Yeah.
Because with this kind of omniscient predictive power comes an immense responsibility. If a company misuses this intensely intimate data, consumer trust will evaporate overnight.
It's not just an ethical nice to have. It's a survival strategy for these businesses.
Yeah.
And simple encryption isn't enough anymore. They are utilizing some really fascinating technical solutions.
They are.
Let's dig into the two major ones.
I will gladly dive into this because the mathematics of modern privacy are brilliant. The first major solution is called federated learning.
Okay.
Traditionally, if an app wanted to get smarter, all your personal data, your photos, your keystrokes, your search history had to be uploaded to a massive central cloud server to train the AI.
Which feels super invasive.
Exactly. Federated learning flips that entirely. The AI model is actually trained locally, right there on your physical device. The model learns from your habits in the palm of your hand.
So the raw data itself never actually leaves my phone.
Exactly. Only the lessons learned by the model, the anonymous, aggregated statistical updates, are sent back to the cloud.
Oh, wow.
It allows the global AI to get smarter without ever seeing your private, raw information.
That's brilliant.
And the second technique is differential privacy. This involves injecting carefully calibrated statistical noise into datasets before they are ever analyzed by the engineers.
Like static on a radio.
Think of it exactly like mathematical static. It scrambles the data just enough so that it becomes mathematically impossible to reverse engineer the dataset and identify any specific individual person.
Okay.
But crucially, it preserves the broader patterns.
Right, so the AI can still extract highly accurate aggregate insights, like identifying that Friday afternoon traffic jam, without ever knowing that you, specifically, were sitting in that traffic.
That makes a lot of sense. But we can't just rely on the engineers to police themselves. There has to be regulation. If we connect this to the bigger picture, technical solutions have to be paired with user control. Users need clear, granular controls over what they opt into.
Like nutrition labels for data.
Yes. Apple has been very aggressive here, essentially turning user privacy into a core competitive advantage against companies that rely heavily on advertising revenue.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, we have to talk about legal frameworks like GDPR in Europe and the CCPA in California.
Right, but for anyone who doesn't speak acronym, what do those actually do in practice?
At their core, they establish new standards of accountability. A key component is the right to explanation.
What does that mean?
If an AI makes a significant decision about, you say, a banking app's algorithm denies you a loan, or a screening app rejects your resume, you have the legal right to demand an explanation for why the algorithm made that specific choice.
That's huge.
It combats the black box problem of AI. You also have the right to be forgotten, meaning you can demand a company completely wipe your digital footprint from their servers.
Okay, so we have the sci-fi vision of predictive apps, and we have the privacy guardrails. But practically speaking, what does it actually take for a developer to build this stuff?
It's hard.
It sounds impossibly complex.
It is incredibly difficult. Developers are currently slamming into three major bottlenecks. The first is the data deluge. We talked about the fire hose of data exhaust.
Yeah.
Well, storing, processing, and analyzing that information in real time requires massive, incredibly expensive cloud infrastructure.
Somebody has to pay the server bill. And what's the second bottleneck?
The on-device AI bottleneck. This is a physical constraint. Large AI models are computationally massive.
Right.
Trying to run a complex neural network locally on a mobile phone without instantly draining the lithium-ion battery or causing the silicon chips to physically overheat is a major engineering hurdle.
I mean, my phone gets hot just streaming a high-definition video on a sunny day. I can't imagine it trying to run a brain all day.
Which is why researchers are obsessively focused on techniques like model quantization, pruning, and creating distilled models.
Wait, what does pruning an AI model actually mean? Are we trimming a digital bonsai tree here?
That is actually a fantastic analogy. When an AI is trained in a massive data center, it forms billions of artificial neural connections.
Okay.
But not all of those connections are strictly necessary for everyday tasks. Pruning is literally snipping away the least important connections, the dead branches, so the model becomes smaller and faster without losing its core intelligence.
That makes total sense. And quantization.
Quantization is similar. It involves rounding off super precise mathematical numbers to slightly less precise numbers, which saves a massive amount of memory.
And a distilled model.
A distilled model is like giving your phone the cliff notes of a textbook instead of making it carry the heavy textbook around.
Love it.
A massive teacher AI in the cloud trains a smaller, lighter student AI that can comfortably live on your phone.
Okay, so they shrink the brain so it doesn't melt the phone. What's the third hurdle?
The cold start problem. If your application's entire selling point is that it is hyper-personalized to the user's daily habits, how do you provide any value on day one?
Oh, because you have no data yet.
Exactly. When a brand new user downloads the app, you have zero historical data on them.
Right.
Developers have to use very clever onboarding quizzes and leverage broader, anonymized population data to make the app feel intelligent from the very first tap.
While it quietly learns the individual's actual preferences in the background.
Yes.
So, assuming the developers can shrink the models, manage the data, and solve the cold start problem, where does this ultimately lead? The deep dive points toward a really fascinating conclusion: the ambient, appless future.
The ultimate trajectory here is that the app, as we currently understand it, a distinct square icon on a glass screen that you manually tap to open, begins to fade away completely.
Ambient computing. The idea that computers stop being things we look at and start becoming an invisible layer of intelligence we walk through. The shift is from us pulling information from the device to the environment seamlessly pushing information to us.
Exactly. You won't open a weather app to check the forecast. As you're walking toward your front door, your smart home assistant will simply say, "Grab an umbrella."
And it knows to say that because it cross-referenced your digital calendar, checked the local radar, and knows via the accelerometer in your pocket that you are currently moving toward the exit.
Right.
Or the travel planning example. You just speak out loud to a centralized AI assistant, a vastly smarter future version of Siri or Google Assistant, and you say, plan a weekend trip to the mountains for under $500.
It just handles it.
You don't open Expedia, you don't open a hotel app. The AI quietly coordinates the flights, books the lodging, and lines up the activities in the background, pulling functionality from dozens of different services seamlessly.
What's fascinating here is how this ambient predictive intelligence will eventually apply to our physical well-being.
Oh, proactive health.
Yes, proactive health is arguably the ultimate predictive service. Imagine your device quietly running in the background, analyzing the micro movements of your gait, the subtle rhythm of how you walk.
Using just the gyroscope and accelerometer.
Yes. If the AI detects a microscopic deterioration in your balance or your stride over a period of months and cross-references that with increased restlessness in your sleep data, it could proactively suggest you visit a neurologist.
Wow.
It could potentially catch the early onset of a condition like Parkinson's disease years before you or your family ever notice the physical symptoms.
Now I have to play devil's advocate again. What if I just pulled a hamstring playing tennis and I'm limping? I don't want an AI telling me I have a severe neurological condition.
And that is exactly the tightrope developers are walking.
Yeah.
The AI has to be intelligent enough to ask clarifying questions like, have you sustained a recent physical injury, before it jumps to terrifying medical conclusions.
That is a very delicate balance.
Yeah.
But the potential is obviously life-changing. From predicting a traffic jam to literally saving your life by anticipating a disease.
It is.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today. We started with the raw data exhaust, the barometers, the scrolling habits, the bounce in your step. We looked at how that data feeds living maps and self-learning fleets of cars.
We did.
We explored how software is becoming empathetic, adapting its interface and drafting our emails, all while trying to navigate the very real constraints of battery life and user privacy. And finally, we looked at this ambient future where technology just fades into the background, operating invisibly. So what does this all mean? Fundamentally, it means we are transitioning from a world of reactive tools to a world of proactive companions.
It is a remarkable, profound shift in how humans interact with machines, but I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over. We have spent this time discussing the relentless pursuit of perfect predictive AI. If our devices eventually become flawlessly accurate at predicting exactly what we want, what we need, and even what we feel, if they seamlessly coordinate our trips, curate our reading, and manage our schedules before we even have to ask, do we risk losing our human sense of spontaneity?
Oh.
In a perfectly predicted, frictionless world, do we lose the sheer joy of unexpected discovery?
Wow. That is definitely something to think about the next time your phone successfully guesses exactly what you were about to type. Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into the AI World Journal. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay insanely curious.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.